Honourable Minister, I am really sorry. And here I'll make an appeal. I'll make an appeal once again to those who draft replies also. You know, PNQs are limited to 30 minutes. I give certain leeway to ministers to reply to their questions. But then I have a certain leeway. I can't give more than that. Now, we've already taken almost 30 minutes. The whole time devoted to the PNQ has been in the reply of the minister. I will have to give you additional time. I'm sorry, Honourable Minister, I asked you to wrap up, but then I'll have to ask the Honourable Leader of Opposition to ask his question now.
I do hope that you'll give adequate additional time, otherwise I will go home because this made a mess, complete mockery of the PNQ system. Madam Speaker, I am very, very disappointed at the reply of the Honourable Minister. Very disappointed. Un gouvernement nivelé par le bas, Madam Speaker, nothing more than that. I'm going to ask firstly, she has told us apparently that the report has been addressed in some way. This is the worst report I've seen in my career on any public institution. I'll ask the Minister first whether the Board of Governors hasn't got a right to discuss this report. Now, you know it's November 2017, 7 months later. Is she aware that the Board of Governors have not been allowed to discuss this report?
Just explain that the report, the panel was set up in November 2017, but the final report was submitted only on the 31st of May, and we received it on the 31st of May. Now, it is the usual procedure for the institution to work on the recommendations made and then to present it to its board. So the work is on. They will have to discuss with the board, but now the management is working on the recommendations and are coming with strategies which will be presented to the board, and it is obvious that it has to be discussed with the board.
Madam Speaker, the draft report was submitted in February, and good governance would have dictated that it was shown to the board. Now, are you aware, Madam Honourable Minister, that the acting registrar of UTM refused to call a board meeting at the request of the president of the board? And this is the email here asking the acting registrar, who is also secretary of the Board of Governors, and he did not convene the meeting for Tuesday, 19th June, as requested. And in fact, only this morning, Madam Speaker, there's an email sent from the President to one Mr. Ogbar, who is the chairman of the staff committee. And he says here, several emails have been sent to that effect, were sent to him, and he elected not to communicate with me on this issue. Subsequently, the board could not take place. The acting registrar is secretary to the board, and his failure to convene an official board following firm instructions by the President has impeded upon the business of the board. And he's asking for immediate disciplinary action to be taken against the acting registrar. Are you aware, therefore, that the board has been prevented all along from looking at this damning report by the Tertiary Education Commission?
Madam Speaker, the chairman of the board talked to me and told me that that he wanted to have a meeting which was not scheduled. When we went to the information, I was told that the chairman was informed that the work was still on and that the management wanted to complete the work being done on the recommendation before presenting it to the board. So they wanted
UTM, so that in fact you fail to see that whatever action you're taking are against the interest of 3,000 poor and relatively poor, low-income children, despite what the budget has put and everything. These children, their whole future is being denied, good future, because of the actions of yourself and the trio infernal.
Yes, Honourable Leader of Opposition, I just want to draw your attention to the fact that you should try to see how you frame your question in such a way as not to make allegations on the Honourable Minister. Right?
I would like to stress on one point. If a board is not held and the date is postponed, we cannot say that there has been refusal for setting up a board. Secondly, if ever a chairperson has any problem with the registrar, it is to the board that he has to refer the matter. I don't understand, and that too, the registrar cannot decide upon the date without talking to the administration. So one thing is clear, that there has never been any refusal. As far as having control on me or any other person, I would be happy to note that if there is a director general and she has control over her staff, I think it would be a positive point in her favour.
Madam Speaker, I'd like to ask the Honourable Minister whether she has taken cognizance of page 19 of the report, all over actually, where it says that the Director General has attempted to interfere with the audit process, to manipulate the audit process, to derail the audit process, and to intimidate staff. Did she read that part of the report?
Madam Speaker, I must say that in the same report, it is noted down that the panel thanks the Director General for having been extremely cooperative during the whole session. So I'd like to the Honourable Leader of Opposition to let me know which part of the paragraph of the audit he finds correct and which part he doesn't find correct.
I'm referring to page 19. Madam Speaker, the Honourable Minister mentioned the commendations. Did she read the commendations and to see that all the commendations are for the academic staff? And all through the report, the management staff, the senior management, are severely blamed by this report. And Madam Speaker, that even in her last reply she made to this House, to Honourable Patrice Armand, she was misled into telling us that so much work had been done. In particular, that the toilet blocks had been renovated. This is taken this morning. Maybe the embassy can take it. Toilet block renovated. That the football pitch had been renovated, had been upgraded. This is a football pitch, Madam Speaker. So even her, she is being misled into misleading this House as to what has been done. And it's a very serious thing when you mislead the House, Madam Speaker.
Madam Speaker, I'd like to stress upon the point that when we take photographs and pictures, I can also submit photographs and pictures. We've got a whole set of photographs and pictures taken at the UTM upon the request of the Honourable Leader of the Opposition. And I would like, Madam Speaker, to go back on what the Honourable Leader of the Opposition has just mentioned. He is stating that the panel had been terribly against the administration there. I'd like to take the page 10 of the report, which states that the panel commends the UTM for the imagination and aspiration in its strategic plan 2016-2020. The panel commends the commitment, passion, enthusiasm of the academic staff, full-time and part-time, in facilitating quality education. The panel commits the academic community for quality teaching. The panel commends the efforts of the UTM academic staff to build close working relationship. The panel commends the UTM for receiving international professional accreditation. So if you're getting professional accreditation for your programs, you cannot say that the UTM is not working for the good of the students.
Madam Speaker, exactly, the Minister is confirming exactly what I said. Thank you. That the TEC is commending very much the academic staff, but has been damning against senior management. Madam Speaker, allow to us one thing. Everyone in government, including every staff, including the permanent secretary, when they come in to work, they clock in and they clock out. Even the Vice-Chancellor of the University of Mauritius, when he goes to work, he clocks in and he clocks out. Can I ask the Honourable Minister why the Director General of the UTM doesn't clock in, doesn't clock out, and comes to work about 11 a.m. in the morning and often leaves at 2 p.m. in the afternoon? Why? Can you answer why she is one of the only persons who doesn't clock in the civil service and the public service?
Madam Speaker, I would like to know if such a question could be asked to the Minister. Does the Leader of the Opposition think that I would go and check the clocking in and clocking out list of the UTM staff? I think there's a director for that over there.
She's the director. Madam Speaker, I asked this question a year ago. A year ago I told her this. And it's still the same, and still not clocking in. So you are responsible. You have been made aware.
Question?
Ago, what did you do about it?
No question, madam?
Next question.
Madam Speaker, the question is, she was told a year ago that the Director General comes in at 11 a.m., leaves at 2 p.m. What has she done about it in the interest of the students?
Madam Speaker, I think we have already informed the UTM, the management, that they have to go according to procedures set by the UTM itself. And I expect the Director to be doing the same.
Speaker, des bonnes intentions. Madam Speaker, the university is getting worse. Is she aware that the ranking of the university, as from international websites, Madam Speaker, has deteriorated from 7,000 in rank under her guidance, her control, her supervision, 7,000 a year ago to 10,000 today?
Madam Speaker, I'd like to stress on one point. When we take a particular ranking, we have to know for what purpose the ranking was done. The particular ranking being mentioned by the Honourable Leader of the Opposition is on the amount of visibility you have on the website. I do agree, UTM still has to improve on its website, but this doesn't mean that we take one particular element regarding the visibility of an institution and we say that it has come down on the ranking list. I think this is not serious, and we need to be very careful while talking about ranking of universities. There is a wide range of ranking criteria that we have to take into account. The one that is being used by the Honourable Leader of the Opposition refers to visibility on websites.
Give us a better one. Give us a better one, you're the minister. Give us a better one. Madam Speaker, we've been told about this university, the Health Sciences, School of Health Sciences. Is the minister aware that out of 15 courses given, offered in intake 2018, 12 courses found nobody to take, and only 2 free courses found, one 6 persons only, the other one 11 persons, the other one 18 persons. Is she aware that this is the case and that intake has fallen from 81 in 2017 to only 35 this year?
Madam Speaker, when we talk about new courses being launched, it is quite normal that you start getting students coming in. And when we talk about health sciences, they are not huge courses, they're small modular courses and short courses. So obviously it will take some time. They've just been launched. We need to give time. Now, we're talking of a university which is only 18 years old. And by all standards across the world for universities, it is considered to be a very young university. We have to give time to UTM. And we must not keep on pointing a finger at our public tertiary institutions because they are doing a good job. I'm not saying that everything is right. We need to keep on improving. This is the very idea of having quality audits. What is the importance of quality audits? And I think, Madam Speaker, we have to be careful. When we are talking about a university, we are talking about tertiary education. We have hopes to make of Mauritius a knowledge hub. Now, if we keep on personalizing attacks against an individual and trying to bring down an institution because you have a grudge against one person, I think it is totally irresponsible from the Leader of Opposition.
Shame on the Minister, Madam Speaker, that she is denying her own tertiary education report. Her own tertiary education report. Madam Speaker, situation there at the university is getting worse, and this is confirmed by the tertiary education report, Madam Speaker. It talks of, page 16, erosion of quality culture. It talks of the board of university being dysfunctional. It talks about usage of outdated software and pirated software. It talks about...
Yeah, so your question is asking
I'm going to have to, Madam Speaker, unfortunately, because she cannot read. I have to read it for her. Madam, it talks about...
You shouldn't be.
Madam Speaker,
the environment.
On a point of order, Madam Speaker, I want the Leader of the Opposition to withdraw this. Because I've read my report. I want him to withdraw this.
I just told you, please sit down, Honourable Dookun, please sit down. At the beginning of this question time, I've told you that, you have, as a Leader of Opposition, to keep your temper, to be moderate in what you ask, and not to be insolent, please.
Speaker, usually I'm very good, but today I'm shocked. at the state, at the reply that the minister has given has shocked me, Madam Speaker. I am disgusted, Madam Speaker, by the way that the reply has been given, but I withdraw. I don't have to be personal. Madam Speaker, the tertiary education report talks about infrastructure, teaching, research being allowed to deteriorate on page 22. It talks about low staff morale. It talks about no promotion from 2013 or 2008 for non-academic staff. It talks about falling number of students, Madam Speaker. This is the situation at the university. And the least that the poor children could have expected is not for the minister to protect political cronies.
No, don't make
It's not for the minister to... I'm maintaining this.
Don't make statements. Also question.
It is not for her to protect political cronies, but to take the actions to protect these 3,000 poor children that are there and that are paying money and that are being served, Madam Speaker, with a third-class, at least, management of the university.
Madam Speaker, I would like to draw the attention of the Honourable Leader of the Opposition on page 8 of the report, which states that the TEC expresses its appreciation to the UTM for the cooperative manner in which it has participated in the audit process. TEC also thanks the UTM for providing additional information and access to key documents to the audit panel during the course of the audit. The audit panel would like to thank Dr. Sital Singura, Director General, Dr. Vinay Tetan, Head of Quality Assurance, and other staff of UTM for their cooperation in the audit process. This is for what he had stated earlier. Now, talking about research, I'd like to draw the attention of the House, Madam Speaker, that research is an aspect that is extremely important. It is not only critical to the economic and social development of society, but it is also critical to the mission of a university. If we aim at positioning our universities in the region, we have to attract foreign students. We've got to promote research. And I'd like to say, Madam Speaker, that UTM has made a lot of effort in this line. The UTM has come up with its research strategy approved by the board in 2015, and I understand that since 2015, thrust areas for research have been developed for various schools at the UTM, and UTM has successfully attracted more than 15 research grants worth more than 7.7 million over the last 3 years.
Madam Speaker, I'd like to remind the Minister, at least she hasn't read it. That's the only thing that can be said. Maybe someone has read it for her. Because at the beginning of the report...
Speaker, I'd like him to withdraw this.
No.
I'd like him to withdraw this. He cannot keep on...
Please. I think you'll have to withdraw this. Because you can't say whether she has read it or she hasn't read it. It's not for you to say. Please withdraw. Withdraw what you
For her to say whether she has read it or not, Madam Speaker. I'm not withdrawing anything.
You have to withdraw that.
I'm not withdrawing it. It is obvious that she has not read it.
No, but you are saying, you are making... This is not for you to decide whether she's read or not. Please. Just withdraw
on what standing order, Madam Speaker, are you asking me to withdraw? Under what standing order are you asking me to withdraw?
Which you have said.
You're asking me kindly to withdraw. I will withdraw it kindly. I have no problem. But it is my choice to withdraw it and not anyone telling me. Madam Speaker, it is damning against this Director General. I don't want to mention her, but it is there. That she has tried to derail the audit process. Whether at the end they have thanked UTM, that's another issue, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I want to finish on this. Yes, derail. You want me to show you where?
No, don't cross-talk, please.
Okay,
yes,
now, because otherwise I will say she has not read it if she hasn't seen that bit. I'm sure she has seen it. Now, Madam Speaker, there are, she's saying the 2008 report, now 10 years later, some of it has been done, some hasn't been done. But unfortunately for her and for the senior management, the report does talk about urgent action being required. If she hasn't read it, it is in there. And it talks about infrastructure. It talks about urgent action on the climate of trust, transparency, conflict resolution, human capital issues, urgent audits, filling vacant positions, staff promotions. And it also, Madam Speaker, I'll finish on that one. It talks about serious lapse in effective and efficient administration. It talks about disciplinary action should be taken in case of inaction, non-responsiveness, of staff and management, Madam Speaker.
Okay.
And it
Could
urgently
you allow
asks
her to reply,
improve
please?
administrative system. So this is, Madam Speaker, the urgent situation of the UTM. I am sorry if I felt I've seemed disgusted about this, because I am truly disgusted about how the ministry is treating this issue.
Madam Speaker, while talking about being disgusted, I think we've got a very short memory. It is this very UTM that has saved about 22 doctors who had gone during the previous regime to the DY pattern, and they've just completed their work. Secondly, I think talking about disgust, we should have felt disgust for Elim University. But let me now come, Madam Speaker, to what has been mentioned by the Honourable Leader of Opposition, to which I totally agree. Whenever there is inaction, there should be disciplinary action. And this is what the UTM is doing right now. There are certain officers at the university who've been blocking processes to slow down the rate of progress at the university, and a disciplinary committee is being set up to tackle these. And I agree with him. These are actions that we need to take urgently.
Yes, Honourable Leader of Opposition. This is it? Okay, time is over.